Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another session of the Machine Learning Bootcamp. And today you are going to learn another algorithm that is random forest and decision trees. So you would be diving much deeper into them. And Aditya Bobde, the stage is for you.
Okay, okay. So now we'll be starting with our session on random forest. But before getting into random forest, so we'll be diving into much deeper concepts of decision tree. So what are decision tree? Since random forest is a collection of decision tree, we'll be getting onto the decision tree first and then random forest. So first thing you need to understand, the random forest algorithm is called as tree-based model. Okay, so you will be seeing why it is called as tree-based model. The models like linear regression, logistic regression, which we have studied, are called as linear models. So there is nothing to do, like you just have to fit the line. But in the case of random forest and decision tree, you will be forming different trees. So therefore they are called as tree-based models. Okay. So we'll be seeing the goal of the decision tree is to create training model. Okay. So we'll be creating a tree structure, like whether it is yes or no. Again, we will be classifying into two subgroups, true or false. Again, we will be giving some conditions, if else conditions. If it is getting true, then it will be getting executed. Okay, so have you guys studied if else loops in if else statements in your Python or any other languages? Can I have some replies? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
at least basic
Yes,
idea of.
yes. Okay, so you know if else, what does if else does is it will execute या तो ये नहीं तो वो. So simple in layman terms. Okay, या तो ये या either A or B. So there can't be possibility that they won't be happening simultaneously. So what is does is this entry? Suppose you have a condition this. Suppose you have condition 1. If it is true, it will go to the left. If it is false, it will go to the right. Okay, generally the true statements are on the left side and false statement on the right side. Again, there here will be condition 2. Okay, here again it will be getting executed. If it is true, then it will be going to the left. If it is false, it will be going to the right. Similarly, here will be condition 3. Again, if it is true, it will go to the left. If it is false, it will go to the right side. Okay. So in decision tree, for predicting the class labels, we start from the root node. So this is called as the root node. And on the basis of that, we will go to the corresponding nodes. Okay. So what is the goal of the decision trees? It is used to create training models. Okay. Uh, First and foremost thing, decision tree as well as random forest. Both can be used for classification as well as regression problems. Classifications means your discrete values, yes or no. Regressions means your continuous values like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you can predict both. For predicting a class label, we have to start from the root node. We will be just seeing what is root node and we compare. And at the last, we will be getting us the output of the model. Okay, so let me pause this. Okay, so we have the samples on the right side. You can see the data set is completely blank. Okay, so this is the data set of gray and green leaves. Okay, and now we want to classify the gray and green leaves differently. So what we'll be doing is we'll put on a condition that if x greater than 0.5, if it is yes, we will classify them into gray leaves. If it is no, we'll classify into green leaves. Okay, again in this we have another condition if it is y greater than 0.5. If y is greater than 0.5, we will classify them into green. Else no, then we will classify into both green and gray. And at last, we are able to classify both gray and green leaves correctly. So I will wait for a few seconds. You just visualize how this thing works. If you are doubt, you can ask me.
So this right side box you can see it's like plotting your x and y, right? So it's nothing but a Euclidean plot, and accordingly you can see what's happening in the left side. So there is a decision tree being created. So for x greater than 0.5. So just visualize how the line is being drawn and how they are being predicted. Works? Makes sense?
Okay, so the first condition was if x is greater than 0.5. If it is true, we will classify them into these leaves. If it is false, next we will be giving out the condition is y greater than 0.5. If it is yes, we will classify them into green. If it is no, again we have condition is x greater than 0.5, 0.25. If it is yes, we will classify them into green, else gray. Okay, so that's the basic understanding how decision tree works. So on the
Aditya,
right side,
we have the permission to like pause the GIF at a time. Can't do that, right?
okay, hold on, I will just check.
अच्छा works like
Okay.
that. तो end में make it stop.
Okay, so this is our basic data set. Okay, so you have collection of both green and gray leaves on X and Y plot. So this is your complete data set. So what you will be, the main goal is we want to segregate the green and gray leaves differently. Okay, means you want to classify the products into green and gray. Means this is a classification task. So what now we will be doing is we will be giving them some conditions. Okay, so conditions we can see, we can give them if x is greater than 0.5 or we can say y is greater than 0.5. In this case, the first condition which we will be giving is if x is greater than 0.5. Okay, so we can see if x is greater than 0.5, then what happens? We can see some of these leaves, matlab, the right side of the line, we can see x is greater than 0.5. So the right side of the block, there are complete gray leaves. Okay, so we have complete gray leaves. But if the leaves are less than 0.5, we can see it is both the mixture of green and gray leaves. So what happens? Now we will again give some conditions because at the end I want two classes. But in the right side you can see it is a mixture of green and gray leaves. But at the end I want both green and gray segregated. Means I want both the colors different. So I will be again giving some conditions. So this is my condition. If x is greater than 0.5, this is my class. If it is not, I will give another condition like is y greater than 0.5. And you can see if y is greater than 0.5, these are the green leaves. Okay, so this is correctly classified. If it is greater than 0.5, our green leaves are classified. If it is not, we can see there are 3 gray leaves and 2 green leaves. Okay, so still now we haven't got our pure split. Pure split means either this or that. But in the case of right side, you can see that it is a mixture of both green and gray leaves. So again, we will be giving us the condition to classify them. And now we can see that again we give some condition. If x is greater than 0.5, then we can see these are the green leaves, the small blob of two green leaves. If it is not, then these are the gray leaves. So that's how decision tree works. Means at each step it is giving some condition, on the basis of that condition it is getting evaluated. If it is true, it will go on to the left. If it is false, it will go on to the right. And our goal is to say that we want a pure split. Pure split means either this or that, means either yes or no. So previously we were getting a mixture of green and gray leaves, but our goal was to segregate either green or gray. So now we can see if I am giving directly the conditions from if x is greater than 0.5. Okay, so if x is greater than 0.5, no, it is not. Then we will come to the left side of the block. On the left side, we can see if it is greater than 0.5. Okay, so it is greater than 0.5, then it is green leaves. If it is not, we will come down to the bottom section. Okay, this section. Again, we can see if it is greater than 0.25 on the x-axis, we can say that these leaves are the green. If it is not, we can say these leaves are the gray leaves. Okay, this is a simple collection of if else.
Nakul, for that, just imagine now instead of that x is greater than 0.5, instead of this gray leaves, you have only green, right? That's your question. So first thing would be that decision tree, like that decision boundary of x is greater than 0.5, that won't be drawn, right? So you will draw a different one, or I guess that would be there, but okay, no, both leaves for, okay, means if there is a mixture. Yeah, so see, you should have some like your data would be properly classified there. Yeah, if there is both in there, so what you'll do is you will see accordingly that at what particular point of x and y where you can like have a decision boundary there. So that would be the feature of that root node there. So according to that, the boundary would be done. So here, like all gray leaves are at one side, so it can be easily separated from the x is greater than 0.5. So that's why that is happening here. But like for, if you have to say that both are there, then both are there. So it would be like that gray are at a particular area and green are at a particular area. They couldn't be like gathered together, right? Because these are features and accordingly there are some values. So it won't be like completely random. There would be a proper discretion between both of them. So accordingly, after this, if x is greater than 0.5, so instead of that yes and only gray, what would happen is there would be another branch created there. And let's say in the upper lobe only green values are there, and in the bottom lobe the gray values are there. So then there one more would be created, that is that if x is like y is greater than 0.5, then that would be created on the left side as well. Means accordingly it will change as your data would change. Similar to binary search. Yeah, Panash, you can say it's similar to binary search.
If you are studied in your data structure and algorithm class, it's similar to that decision tree, your binary trees. Okay, so that's okay. So now, just as school asked, so on what basis you will split the data? Means you have to gain the maximum information. So we can see from this diagram, we can see that if I'm selecting x, if x is greater than 0.5, I'm clearly segregating the green leaves, the gray leaves at once, at a time. So I will be selecting that feature. So it's up to you, means you have to segregate, you have to choose that features which will give you the best split. Okay, so that's the main aim. Okay, now we'll be seeing some of the terminologies used in the decision tree. So this is the your root node. The time when you start your splitting. So the data set is called as your root node, from where you will start splitting. Means your complete data set. Now we will split the data set in either true or false based on some conditions. Okay. So the process of dividing the data set, it is called as splitting. Means either right or left. Okay. So when a node further splitted, means if I am splitting this root node, if I am splitting it into another two nodes, so now the next node will be called as the decision node. Why decision node? Because here I will be giving some conditions. If else are also called as decision statements. Decision means it will evaluate, and on the basis of evaluation it will say either it is true or false. Okay, so these are my decision nodes. Okay, and what are terminal nodes? Last, terminal nodes means which can't be further splitted. Okay, so terminal nodes means, so this node can't be further splitted, this node can't be further splitted. Okay, the nodes that can't be further splitted are called as terminal nodes. And what is a subtree?
Where you have the answer, where you have your classification, or where you have your answer, that is nothing but terminal node.
Yes, means you have got your answer finally. You have got the best split. If you can relate your previous example, so you will be segregating your green and gray leaves correctly. So you can't segregate more of them. So that's the main aim. You want to segregate your green and gray leaves differently. So that's the terminal nodes, means you can't further split. And what is a subtree? So if I am selecting this as a subtree means your collection of decision nodes and terminal nodes. So this is a subtree. Again, I can classify this also as a subtree. This is also a subtree. Okay. Means a smaller subset of a tree is called as a subtree. Okay. So these were the basic terminologies you would like to know. Next, we will see a classic example of how decision tree works. Okay. So we have seen the how decision tree works. Now this is a example. So we have a data set. On this data set, I have two red ones, three red ones, and four blue points. Okay, but you can see that the zero is also in the category of red. So what can be the best split? Okay, so if you are saying I can split on the basis of either it is 1 or 0, but in the case of that, the red zero would go on to the right category. मीन्स समझ रहे हो क्या मैं हिंदी में बोलता? ओके, सो तुम्हारे पास एक डेटा सेट है, इन द उस डेटा सेट में तुम्हारे पास 3 रेड पॉइंट्स हैं एंड 4 आर द ब्लू पॉइंट्स. बट कैसा हो रहा कि अगर तुम डाल रहे हो कंडीशंस, सो इफ आई एम सिलेक्टिंग द कंडीशंस, condition classify whether it is red or blue. Okay, but if I'm selecting red or blue, so sorry, if I'm selecting either 1 or 0, तो 1 और 0 में क्या हो जाएगा कि ये जो 0 है मेरा रेड वाला, it will go on to the 0 part, means it will go on to the right part, and both ones will be going on to the left part. But you can see that the 0 is red, but it is getting classified with blue. So you will be selecting such a split which will give us the maximum information. In this case, the maximum information is gained by the condition that is it red or not. So if it is red, it will be getting classified onto the left side. If it is not, it will be classified into the no side. So we can see that in the red we have 2 ones and 1 0. In the no category we have 4 blues. So what is this called? Now we have studied the terminologies. What is this term called? Anyone? Just now we have studied the term. What is this term called as? Okay, terminal node. Great, means you guys are paying attention. So this is terminal node. So what we want to classify at the end, either it is into two classes, red or blue. So our blue class is getting finally classified. So this is called as terminal node. But if we go on see and see the red ones, so we can again see we can classify them into further more. So how we can classify? We have 2 points. So is it underlined or not? So we can see from there. So the ones are getting underlined with a red line. So we can see them. We can tell them the condition. Is it underlined or not? If it is yes, it will be getting classified as 2 ones with underline. If it is no, it will be getting classified as no, it is not underlined. So finally, these are also terminal nodes. मतलब हो क्या रहा? At the end, you want to classify the points into either A or B or yes or no. If you are getting samples with both red, means okay, so let me take the examples. So if the decision tree is something like this, 1 1 and 0 0 and again 1 and then 0. If I am classifying, okay, wait a minute, hold on. मतलब ऐसा हो रहा कि तुम अगर इसको if you are trying to classify on the basis of just 1 and 0, then this 0 will be getting misclassified since it is red. So you get the whole points. At the end, you want to classify into either A category or B category. So you want to segregate. Okay, so that's, I guess so your concept are clear till now. Means your terminal node can't be further splitted. Terminal nodes means you have got your answer classified correctly. Okay, till now any doubt?
Aditya, once in English also, so they can understand.
So what does they want to tell me in English?
नहीं, तो पूरा हिंदी में बोला ना, एक बार इंग्लिश में बता.
Okay, so I will explain the example once again in English. So you have your data set containing of 3 blue points and 3 red points and 4 blue points, and you want to classify the points into either into 2 categories, red and blue. So the condition, you will be giving them the condition. Okay, so the first condition is it red or not? So if it is red, we will be getting onto the true category. True categories is always represented in the left, and the false one are represented in the right. Okay, so the true category says is it red? So we have 3 reds, like 2 ones and 1 zeros. So yes, it is red. On the right, if it is not red, we can see tell them that this is not red. Okay, because these are the blues. Okay, so now why this is not called as terminal node? Anyone? Why this 110 is not called as terminal node? My question is that. Okay, Nakul is absolutely correct, because it can be getting further classified. We have the another statement to classify. We have another condition to classify, because we can say them is it underlined or not. On the basis of that, we can again classify them. And yes, if they are underlined, they will go on to the left category. If they are not, they will be getting onto the right category. So we have 2 ones that is underlined and 1 0 which is not underlined. So now these are called as the terminal nodes. So these are terminal node. This is also a terminal node, and this is also a terminal node. Means you have finally classified. Okay. So that's the main aim till now. So till here, any doubts? Anyone? Daryl, what about others? Daryl, Chi, Sahil, Aishwarya, Kabir. Any doubts till now? Okay, clear. Okay. If you have any doubt at any point of the time, you can just unmute, or else if you don't want to unmute, you can type into the chat box. Okay. So this was the concept of your decision trees. Means you have given a data set. On the basis of that, you are making us a tree based structure. Like if it is true, it will go on to this. If it is false, it will go on to this. Again, there is some condition. Again, it will be getting split. If it is not getting splits, means you have reached the terminal node. Terminus node means you can't further split the data. You have got your answers. Okay, so that's about the decision trees. Now we will be moving on to the random forest. So what are random forests? So what happens in the case of decision tree is decision tree selects the best attributes. Means मतलब अभी I will go on to the layman terms. Decision tree में क्या होता है कि when it is splitting, मतलब वो जब split कर रहा है decision tree, तब वो हमेशा best split लेगा. Best split, it will search for the best split. What is the best split? And on the basis of that, it will be getting selected. So इसमें हो क्या रहा? Your training data is getting memorized. मतलब जो आप if I'm not good at recursion. Would you give me some tips? Okay, wait, Nikita. I'm explaining some other concept. Okay, hold on, just Vishal will answer your query. Okay, so what is happening now? If you are selecting the best split, your training data will be getting memorized. And what is if get memorized? You know, while doing machine learning, we create our testing and training data set different. अगर हमारा ट्रेनिंग डेटा सेट पूरा लर्न हो गया, मॉडल ने लर्न कर लिया, so what it will do is it will try to overfit or underfit the data. Okay, so that's why what you want, the advantage of random forest over decision trees, it is using multiple decision trees to give us a better prediction. What was happening in the decision tree? It was having high variance, means it was having high testing error. So your testing error was very high in the case of decision trees. Okay, so let me wipe it out once again. Okay, so in decision tree you are having your model is getting completely trained. Completely trained means your training set is getting memorized. It is getting memorized. And it now you are tracing your model on the test data set. You have split the data set into training and testing. You have trained your model on training data set. Now it is a time to perform on testing. So what happens in this case? So since your training data is getting memorized, and on the if you're giving testing data set, so on testing data set, since it is new, it won't be able to generalize much more. So if you are getting training accuracy of 94%, if you test the same model on testing data set, you will be getting accuracy about somewhat 80%. So now you will be thinking, so why this is happening? So the main reason is that while splitting in the decision tree, while you are performing the split, it is selecting the best feature. Best feature means it is getting memorized. The feature is getting memorized. But in machine learning, you don't want the feature to be getting memorized. So that's why the scientists came with the concept of random forest. So what does it random forest does it? It will randomly select any features. Okay, so since so the basic idea is the one and the same, you will be creating multiple decision trees. Okay, so you have 4 decision trees here. So the time of splitting, it will select randomly any features. Okay, so this is selecting A feature, this is also selecting B features. Now this is selecting B features. Let it be wrong. The feature might be wrong, but it is selecting random features. Okay, so random forest, it contains a large number of decision trees. This and this, it is further getting splitted. It is also further splitted. It is also further splitted. So this was your tree 1. Now again, the splitting happens and it goes on and goes on. So what does random forest does is it will collect all these decision trees and make a single prediction. So each tree in the random forest is prediction, a large number of uncorrelated model. Okay. So one thing you should note in mind. So it is mostly asking your interview questions. So why you prefer random forest over decision tree, and what is the specialty of random forest? Why it is getting so best accuracy? So the major reason is the features are majorly uncorrelated, means the features are independent of each other. The tree 1 doesn't know what is happening in tree 2, and the tree 2 doesn't know what is happening in the tree 1. Okay, so make sure the features which you are selecting are completely random. So it is taken care by the random forest library. You don't have to much worry about it. So now, as I have told you, so it is collection of different decision trees. So this is what decision tree 1, tree 2, tree 3. Now this was a decision tree 5, 6, 7th, and 8th and 9th. So you have 9 decision trees. And since we are performing the classification task, so each tree will output its prediction. So the first is saying it is 1, it is 0. So in the case of random forest, what we will be doing? It will be using voting classifier. Now what does voting classifier means? It will be selecting the maximum value. So from this 9 trees, we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 trees are saying it as 1, 6 trees are classifying the output as 1, and 3 trees are saying that it is 0. So we will be going on with the 1 since maximum trees are voting. So this was in the case of classification. मीन्स अगर क्लासिफिकेशन रहा तो हम जो मैक्सिमम रहेंगे ट्रीज उसमें से आ जाएंगे. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज वोटिंग क्लासिफायर. द नेक्स्ट, इफ यू आर परफॉर्मिंग रिग्रेशन मीन्स योर कंटिन्यूस वैल्यूज. So in that case, what you will be doing is you will be taking out the averaging. You will average out all the decision trees, and the average is your final output. Okay. So till now, any doubt in random forest? Just remember, random forest is a collection of several decision trees. The features are independent of each other. In classification, the maximum number of output is getting selected. Okay. So till now, any doubt?
Just try to relate these things with KNN. So just see, in KNN, we used KNN for classification from 0 to 9 numbers, if you remember. Okay, so just like that, we used distances, and according to distances, we saw its classes. And at the end, what we did was, okay, this, like, just take an example that the particular point is very close to the like this class 1 in this trees. Okay, so there are six distances that say that the class belongs to 1, and there are 3 distances that say the class belongs to 0. So what you go with? You go with the highest one. Okay, so 6 people are saying 1, then it should be 1. Similarly, just imagine it now with regression. So regression, just remember the Boston house price prediction. So there was house price. So at the end, what you will get? You will get a particular price of a house. Okay. So you have like how many? 9 prices of the house. So you have 9 prices. So what you will do? You will just average of the price. Okay. So sum of all the prices upon total upon 9, and that would be your actual price from the random forest. So as easy as that.
So any doubt till now? How is the best split selected? Okay, so the best split selected. Okay, so in decision trees, so there is a concept. If so, Nakul has asked the question, I will go on to the deep. So in decision tree, there are two concepts again. One is called as entropy, and another is called as the information gain. Entropy means your measure of impurity. How impure is your subset? Impurity. So if it is high, if the split has a high entropy, we will use the split. If the entropy is less, we will select that split. Okay, so this was our first criteria. The second criteria goes like this for information gain. Information gain says that if I'm doing a particular split, if the information gain means the information covered in that split is much higher, then the possibility of that split is getting selected is much higher. If the information gain is less, I will be dropping that split. Okay, so make sure, so your entropy should be as less as possible and your information gain should be as high as possible. Okay, so that's the condition. Okay, so that's the condition for your split. Nakul, I hope that's clear. So why is single decision tree feature learning problematic? Okay, so means more information gains and yes, Nakul, absolutely right. Means you want more information gains and low entropy split. Entropy is a measure of impurity. Okay, and information gain is the information written after the split. Means you should get the maximum information, else it is of no use. So that's the main reason you want high information gain. Okay. So any more doubt? Okay, Vishal has answered the Harshila doubt. Okay, so I guess so we can move forward. Okay. So now your confusion. So why we use random forest? Your confusion will be getting much more clear. So just pay attention. Okay. So if I want to invest in a company, suppose the company is called as XYZ company. I'm not sure about the performance. So I look onto the stock price and I want to predict if the stock price is getting more than 6% up or not. Okay. So I want to predict whether the stock price will be getting returns more than 6%. So I decide to approach various experts. So what I will be doing is I will be approaching various experts. So the expert will be telling whether the interest which I am getting will be more than 6% or not. Okay. So now each expert, consider each expert as decision trees. Okay. Consider each expert as a decision trees. So now I am going to the expert number one. So he is a company. He is an employee of company XYZ. Since we have bought the shares of the company XYZ, and we want to predict if I'm getting the annual returns on that share of more than 6% or not. So what I will be doing, I will do some research. So the employees of that company says it knows the internal functionality of the company and have the insider information. So what he says that he says that it will go above 6%, and the possibility is 70%. In past, he have been correct 70% of the times. Means the chances of success is 70% and the chances of failure is 30%. Just note down these things. Okay, so the first person says that chances of success is 70 and failure is 30%. Now, since it doesn't know the broader perspective, you go on to the different person. So he's the financial advisor of that XYZ company. So he knows the finance and everything about the company. So he says that the chances of getting returns above 6% is 75% of the time. Since in the past he's getting success rate of 75, means his success rate of 75 and the failure rate is 25%. Okay. So the and next you go to the third person. So this was your decision tree number one. Means the person one you approached, this was your decision tree two, financial advisor. Now you move on to the third person. Third person is stock market trader. So this one is our decision tree three. So he says that in the past he have been right 70 times. Again the success rate is 70% and the failure rate is 30%. Now you approach the fourth person, means your decision tree number four. He says he knows the internal functionality of the company. Means he is the competitor of XYZ company and says that XYZ company can outperform this year. So in the past, he have been success rate of 60% and failure rate of 40%. And at last, you visit a social media expert to know whether the stock price will be greater than 6% of the not. So he has a success of 65 and failure of 35. Okay. Now at the end, what is happening? So you can't. So the random forest says that you do a collection of all the decision trees, and on the basis of that, you will be getting your final prediction. So you don't depend on any one of the decision tree. So a decision tree can be wrong, but a collection of decision tree can't be wrong. It will be always right or nearly right. So what you does is you stack all these decision trees. Suppose now we have access to all these 5 decision trees, we can combine this information and we have the 5 experts from the different field. And we are already plotted. So now just take into the consideration of the failure percentage. So the first one was have the failure percentage of 30%. Second one has a failure of 25%. The third is failure percent of 30. Fourth is 40 and the fifth is 35. So now what we will be doing? So you know that probability is always 1. The total probability of any substance of anything is 1. And how the total errors you will be subtracting to get the accuracy. So the failure we will be calculating the failure rate. Okay, so failure rate is 30% into 25 into 30 into 40 into 35. Now this sums up to 0.00315. Okay, and since the total probability was 1 of any substance, now we'll be subtracting from this value minus 0.00315. So you can see that accuracy is getting of 99%. So what was happening, if you were taking advice of any one consultant, you will be getting right 70 times or 75 times or 70 times. But if you are combining the results of all these 5 experts, you have combined the results of all these 5 experts. So now you are getting the accuracy of 99%. So whether this accuracy is better or the previous one. So definitely the combination of decision trees, means the combination of 5 experts, will give us a better accuracy. So that's the main aim of the random forest. Means you will be taking decisions from each and every participant, and at last you will be combining the decisions, and the majority one wins. So if the majority is 1 1 0 1, so majority is 1, so it will be getting selected. So that's the main aim of the random forest. So this was your data set. You split the data set into different decision trees. So this was your decision tree 1 2 until you have decision tree T. So now you have built the classifier. So this is out predicting 1, this is out predicting 1, so this is out predicting 0, and the finally predicting the value as 1. So at last we can see that maximum value is 1. Okay, we have 0 1 times, and we have 1 3 times. So we can see the final value will be getting selected as 1. Okay, so that's the whole point of random forest. Okay, so till now, any doubt? Why we use decision tree, random forest over decision trees, or what is random forest? Can anyone explain me in short in the chat box, or can unmute them and explain me what is random forest? It would be much appreciated if you can unmute. Otherwise, we have given them the rights to unmute, right?
Yeah, they have the rights.
Okay, so if anyone can unmute and tell me what is random forest, a basic intro would be much appreciated. It means you are paying attention in the class.
Of decision trees. Okay. Z is right. There's a group of decision trees to get good efficiency or accuracy. Yeah. Collection. Exactly.
And what are decision trees? If I ask, what are decision trees? Okay, so what does the node represents? Means, what does the node represents? Okay, so that's not a perfect question. If a sort of tree structure, right, means you will be giving a condition, and on the basis of that, it will be getting evaluated. Any more answers? Okay, I guess so you have cleared your concepts of random forest and decision tree. We'll be moving forward. So what's the major difference between the random forest and decision tree? You might be having the question. So why can't we use only random decision tree and not random forest, or else random forest and not decision trees? So in decision tree, when we have to split the data, the first case is that when we want to split the data, it will just select the best features. Okay. So in that case, it is just selecting the feature number 1. But in the case of random forest, since you know that there will be multiple decision trees, and a decision tree can have any number of features, so it will be forced to select that feature. So in the random forest tree 1, so you can't see the here feature 1 is present, so you have to go with feature number 2. In the second decision tree, you can see that there is feature 1 and feature 3, so now feature 1 will be getting selected. So since random predictions are there, and at last you are combining this random prediction, you will be getting much more accuracy. So that's why we use random forest much more. Yeah, and the one reason is it is less prone to overfitting. decision trees are very prone to overfitting, means they won't be able to generalize on the testing data set. Okay, that's it. Okay, so I will also just take a small note. So random forests are also called as ensemble methods. Okay, have anyone heard of ensemble methods before coming to the lecture? Ensemble method, ensemble learning, any kind of? No. Okay, it is also not expected that you should study. Okay, okay, not a problem. So what does ensemble? So random forest, the first name of the random forest what was the first name of the random forest? What a random forest also called as? Random forest and decision tree also called as? At the starting of the lecture, I told you that random forest and decision trees are also called as fill in the blank. What is a fill in the blank? So I will give you a hint. Okay, so random forest. Okay, so there is no need of hint. Nakul has already guessed. So random forest and decision trees are called as tree-based models because they are performing your decision in the form of tree. And what are logistic regression and linear regression type of models? Linear based. Yes, she absolutely right. They are called as linear based models. Harshila, they are called as linear based models. Okay, so polynomial is a specific type of linear regression. Okay, so just I will give a quick overview. Random forests are also called as tree based models. The another name for random forest is called as bootstrap aggregation. Okay, so I don't have a chat box to type. Is there chat box present?
Just
Okay.
edit the slide now. It will be easier. Anyone from like front end background? Bootstrap? Yeah, used in CSS.
So they are also called as bootstrap aggregation. Okay, so I'm not expecting any much knowledge on this, but okay, so there is no need to ratta, matlab ratta mat maro. Why it is called as bootstrap aggregation? You should know the logic behind why it is called as bootstrap aggregation. Okay, so what happens is that okay, let's just me select a pen. Okay, so the pen is getting selected. Okay, so you have your data set D. Okay, correct. You have your data set D. Now what you will be doing is you will be, of course, you will be doing a random projections, means you are selecting a decision tree, you are forming decision trees. Okay, so this is decision tree 1 and decision tree 2, decision tree 3. Okay, so these were your different decision trees. Okay, this was your complete data set. Okay, so make note of that the data set while creating the decision tree, this or any one of the decision tree, the data set will be always less than this data set. Means suppose I am using data set d dash d dash, so it will be always less than data set d. Data set d is your complete data set and d dash is your small subset of data set used for training your decision tree 1. Okay, so your d dash is always less than your d. And now what is happening, the complete data set, your complete data set is called as bootstraps. Means bootstraps means in layman terms, bootstraps mean creating samples. Okay, here bootstrap represents creating samples. Since you are creating different decision trees, these are called as also samples. So this is your sample 1, sample 2 and sample 3. Means this is called as bootstraps. Bootstraps mean different samples. And now at the end these will be getting some predicted values. Suppose this is predicting 1, this is 0, or this is 1, and your final output prediction will be 1, since two classifiers set is as 1. So now bootstraps means you know bootstraps mean creating samples. And what does the second term represents? Aggregation means collection. So first you are doing bootstraps means you are separating the data sets, you are creating different decision trees, and aggregations means collection. So at the end you are doing the collection of these data sets and finally out predicting of certain value. So that's why the term is called as bootstrap aggregation. If anyone asks you what does bootstrap represents, bootstraps means creating samples and aggregations means collecting collection of data sets, and on the basis of that you will be predicting. So that's enough for theory. If you have any theory, you can ask in the group if you have any doubt. So till now, any doubts in random forest or decision trees? A quick, then I will hand it over to Atharva for the hands-on practical. Okay, so no doubts. What about others? Okay, so I guess so all are clear with their concept of decision tree and random forest. Atharva, you can move on to the hands-on practical. Okay.
Sure. So if the screen is visible, just a quick example of how decision tree and random forest works. So see, tree 1, tree 2, tree 3, and at the end there is a voting. Tree 1 said it is A, tree 2 said A, tree nth said it was B, and at the end majority of was of A, so answer is A. So just quick, like this is what random forest is. Okay, collection of different trees, and at the end you have a voting. Maximum votes is the answer. Easy as that. So today what we are working on, first of all, I hate biology, okay, but still we are doing this. So the data set we have is a famous iris data set, and what that it contains, so it contains a sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width of iris, and according to that we are predicting the species of the flower. Okay, so how many features we have? 4 features: sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width. Using these 4 features, what we are calculating, we are saying the species of this iris flower. Okay, so the species is classified into 3 types, that is setosa, another is versicolor, and virginica.
Atharva, it would be great if you could show the what are sepal length, sepal width. Just a Google image would work
So
fine.
I have that image.
Okay, then great.
So these 4 features. So what is sepal? What is petal? So petal is nothing but the petals of flowers, and sepal is this green covering you have underneath your petals. Okay. So in every flower you can see. So this is called sepal. This green covering. Okay, so when the flower is being created, so first it's covered in sepals, and then these sepals expand and go down, and the flower comes up from the middle. That much I know biology. Okay, thank God. So this is sepal, this is petal, just easy as that. And using their lengths and widths. Okay, so it's length, width. We are trying to predict what type of iris flower it is. Okay, so what type of iris flower it could be? It could be setosa, it could be versicolor, it could be virginica. And we have total 150 entries. Okay, so this is about our data set. And now let's go on to coding. So let's boot our favorite Colab. I'll quit this and the new notebook. Okay, and sometimes you're not able to catch up now. So what I'll do is I'll just give you the viewing rights here. Okay, change to anyone can view, copy, done, and you can view here. So let's begin. So import pandas as PD. First of all, we import our libraries. Okay, and what else we want? NumPy, let's do NumPy is NP. And now let's get our data set is equals to pd.read CSV, and we can paste the link. So I've uploaded our data set in our repository. So week 4, I have this iris.csv. I'll take its raw and just copy paste the link. Okay. I wanted to give this. Now I have our data. Let's see the data. So here I have a data frame that is nothing but tables in Python, more specifically in Pandas library. Okay. So now let's see this ID. What is this ID? It's nothing but the index number. Why do I need an index number? Index number is not going to tell me what is species, right? So I don't need the index number. So first thing I'll do is I'll just kick out the index number. So data, and I'll drop that column. So columns equals to this, sorry, ID. Let's see if it worked. And data. Okay, gone. So this is by default, see, and you can see it's so this is always shown in the default. It's not any column. Okay, and so you have only 4 columns, that is sepal length, sepal width, petal width. These are your features, and you are going to predict the species. Cool. Now let's get our train test plate. So from sklearn dot model selection import train test plate command. Yeah. And okay, before that I had to give x and y, right? So x would be my data, everything in the data except what do I don't need? I don't need the column which says the labels, right? So the column named species, okay, species. I don't want species, and except from species, I want each and every other columns, that is sepal length, sepal width, petal width. So x would be that, and y would be only the column named species. Okay, if we want, we can check. So how does our x looks like? Okay, x is my 4 columns. What is my y? Y is my last column, right? We have our x and y. So now just using train test plate. So x train, x test, y train, and y test equals to r10 train test split, and our data x and y, and let's keep a test size of 0.2. So 80% for training, 20% for testing. Okay, now we need our model. So let's import our model. So as Aditya told you, these are called ensemble methods, and in sklearn.ensemble we have our random forest classifier. So random, see, we have random forest classifier and regressor both here. Okay, so let's import both. We'll do regression also, and we'll do it on Boston house price. So just to get you guys an idea that it could be used on both. So import random forest regressor. So classifier and regressor both we used. So what kind of problem is this? Species, 3 types of species: Setosa, Virginica, and versicolor. Okay, so it is classification because answer is only in 3 classes. So we are using classifier here. So let's say our model equals to random forest classifier. Okay, and the number of decision trees I want, so I can feed in here. So an estimators equals to 100. So I'll just restrict the number of decision trees in the forest I want into 100. I'll just fit in the model my x train and y train. Okay, so I fitted it, and now let's see predictions. So ypred equals to our model dot predict, and we are going to predict on x test. Okay, and now we can do model dot score. So x test and अरे कर सके y test. Okay, so you got a 93% accurate model. So out of 100, 93 times the samples show a proper classification, and that is, so 93 out of 100 times it will give me correct species based on the sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width. And you can see Aditya was explaining you theory for 1 hour, okay? And how many code we need? Very little. So what do we do? Just import the data, split the data. Okay, import the data, then we select our x and y, split our x and y, and just import Ansible methods, random forest classifier, just fit the data and get our value. As easy as that. But the thing is, you should know what happens in background. So you should know theory, because in implementing you don't need theory, right? I didn't need theory here. Okay, I can just like code like code whatever I want, and I can just import any of the algorithms I want, and I can predict. But the theory would be what is asked you in your let's say vivas, or wherever you go to apply to a job, or etc, right? So knowing what's going behind is very necessary. And now let's do a thing. So what we'll do is let's get Boston house price prediction. Okay. So like Boston I can get from our Boston. Yeah. So from sklearn, we have in sklearn datasets, right? Dot datasets. I can import load Boston if it's correct. Yeah, I have load Boston here, and I can select Boston equals to load Boston, right? And now my data would be pandas dot data frame and Boston dot data. Okay, so now my data looks like this, just the values. I don't have column headers and all, so let's just give it column headers. So data dot column equals to Boston dot I think feature, yeah, feature names, and I need one more column, that is price, and the price column would have my Boston dot target. Yeah, so now let's see the data. Did I run it? Data क्यों नहीं आया? Data ये ना? Okay, column लिख दिया. Yeah, so data dot columns. See, now you have your column names and you have your data. So you have a proper table. Now, just as easy as that, we have our X, and X would be everything except what I don't want the feature. And what is the feature? It's price. Okay. And okay, X is 1, and Y would be just my price. So now conducting the trend test split, I won't type again. I'm very lazy typer. So I'll just copy paste. I have my trend test split for X and Y. And I have already imported regressor. So let's just fit it now. Random, okay, random forest regressor. So it's a regression program, right? So random forest regressor. Again, I don't want too much data array. I don't want too much decision trees to be created. So that's why just fixing it. And random forest dot fit. I have my X train and Y train. So let's see what's my score. Dot score, and this is on Y test. Okay, 80%, right? And just remember this Boston house price prediction we did on linear regression too. So let's see if I have this. So sorry, random forest. I'll just save this so in case it's gone. And now let's see if I have what was it, linear regression. So we had 80% accuracy here. Let's see what we had in linear regression. 76. See, so answering the question that one student was asking before, that which model to use or which will best fit the model. So you can't just specify that, okay, this one model is the perfect one, but sometimes a particular algorithm could best fit a model and like best fit a data, and sometimes it won't. So now see, this random forest regressor best fitted the Boston house price prediction as compared to linear regression, because linear regression we had an accuracy of 76%, while now we gained the accuracy of 80%. So just like this, you have to like try 2-3 algorithms and get a hang of the data, and then you know that which algorithm best fits your model. So that is how you perform like your decision trees and random forest in code. So open random forest. So if you have any queries, I'm sorry I didn't see chat box today. So if you had any doubts, I'm so sorry. Is this okay? Vishal took care of it. Great. So if anyone has any errors, any doubts, feel free to ask. And just now, here only we did two things. We did classification and regression, both problems. See, so classification we did on iris dataset. We had our answer here. And from here, we created regression. So text. So I did regression here. Okay, here regression, and here you have your classification. Cool. I'll upload this notebook so you guys can check it out there. So this was a short intro about how to code random forest, both regressor and classifier in Python. And so can we have some doubts? How can we do this for dataset containing images? Yeah, so Nakul, if you remember images, so what you do for images, you have a thing called as pixel, and pixel, like images are nothing but matrices of numerical data, right? So it is containing like each and every image contains of a pixel, and pixel has a value of 0 to 255, right? Remember? So what you already have numeric data. So what you do is you just import the data and use its matrices. Okay. So you can use the image as a matrix of numbers. So you can then just flatten it out like we had for MNIST data set, and then you can fit and predict. Okay, so that's how you can play with it. See, images are not much problem because images are already having pixel values and it's already kind of a numerical data. What problem you have is while you use NLP. Okay, so NLP, natural language processing. So English, if you say, okay, so like Nakul just said yes and okay. So these things computer can't understand, and these are not even numbers. So that time you have to do some things, you have to create dictionary and all. So that's just later part. But using images is like one of the easiest after using these CSV files. So that was about today's session. Thank you everyone for joining in. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box.
Yes.